All right, the Screen Team is back. We've got Laura, and it's her show. We've reviewed Alvin and the Chipmunks. We've also reviewed The Secret in Their Eyes, and now we're getting ready to do the next Divergent movie. It's
Allegiant.
called Allegiant. Yes. And Laura, you have brought your good friend
Sabrina
in to help with this particular review. I saw the first two films. I liked the first one, Divergent. When we watched, what was the second one? Insurgent?
Yeah.
When we saw Insurgent, I was like, I don't remember what had happened or what's going on, because I've seen The Maze Runner and I've seen Allegiant and I've seen the Hunger Games and all that stuff. So my mind was out of.
They do start to blend. I mean, the storylines aren't the same, but they're so similar in their overall. It's complicated, and that's the same amount of movies.
Yeah.
So, but before I get into what you guys thought about the movie, when you guys went into it, when you guys were watching it, was it confusing to you, or did you guys understand right away what was going on with this next story?
I wished I had watched the last one before going to see this one.
Yes,
because it had been such a long time.
I was like at the very beginning, I was a little bit like, wait, I'm confused. Because there was, just some of the ways that things happened, but then like once it picked up, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember this now, and I remember this now. They bring in a lot of new people in this movie, so, and like it's they're not factions anymore, so Trist is trying to go and heal everything. Like she wants to believe in this greater thing so much, because that's kind of what she thinks her mom stood for. So she's kind of trying to live up to what her mom was, and she's got this greater idea of what it should be beyond the wall, and that's what she's like dreaming about and looking forward to. And 4 is a little bit more reserved in his ideas of, he doesn't quite trust people the way she does. So that's kind of what the movie goes through. And what's the dude's name?
That Jeff
the
Daniels
traitor
plays?
No, the traitor guy. The one that
Peter.
Yes, Peter. He's typical Peter. This movie's one of my favorite characters in the whole movie.
Miles Teller?
Yes, Miles Teller. Yeah, I couldn't think of his name. But of all the characters in the movie, he's probably my favorite.
He's the easiest one to follow almost, because he's
he's predictable.
So two-dimensional. You got this side and you got this side. What's it going to be?
Yeah, exactly. And he always goes whichever the way
never
the wind
fails
blows.
to disappoint. Yeah.
So is Kate Winslet, is she still the bad guy in this particular?
She's killed in the last movie.
She got killed in the last one?
Yeah.
Never mind. Apparently I forgot that. See, that's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Dead. That's one of the first lines in this movie.
She's dead.
So who is the bad guy in this film? Is there a bad guy?
There is. There's a couple of them. There in the previous movie, you learn that Four's mother is leading the rebellion.
Yeah.
She's like the leader of all those cast out of the factions, the factionless. And she starts bringing in the people once everything starts to fall apart in the previous movie. She starts recruiting, and she recruits from anybody who comes out of their faction believing things could be better, and that includes the other woman that leads the Simmer Down people. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, I know.
Amity, the Amity group.
To me,
yeah.
And so, but they end up clashing right away in the very beginning of this movie, because Four's mom decides that they're going to sever ties with the past, and in order to do that, everyone who was on Janine's side had to go.
Yeah.
And they start having public executions, and that's when Amity Lady, she's like, nope, not going to have any part of this. But then you see her, she's got her army, and then you've got Four's mom's army, and they're in this, Chicago-based ghetto of a city, getting ready to clash. And so as they're clashing, you've got Trist and Four and her brother, whom she saves, even though she really doesn't want to, because he betrayed her. And then Peter. And the four of them escape out of the wall, which Four's mom put a stop to anybody leaving the city. And so what you thought was going to happen was everyone was going to get to rush out and go experience and see what was beyond the wall. And they shut it down and they locked it up, and they're like, nobody leaves. And so again, Four's mom turns into Janine.
Yeah.
And so, you feel like the cycle's just going to start all over again. And what they find beyond the wall is, in a majority of the movie, is them experiencing what's out there, which is just a vast wasteland left over from the true results of what happened. I mean, they killed the Earth. And there's just these small little pods of places that they have civilization. And Jeff Daniels is the leader of the group that has been conducting the experiment known as Chicago.
Yeah.
And for 200 plus years, that's what I understood was like 200 years. But yet,
something like that.
How Trist's mom, you find out, came from that city.
Yeah. Well, she was one of the
first people to
what were they called?
She was an outlander of some kind.
The ones that are basically lost. They don't have a faction either, do they?
They're like Chicago's the only place with factions.
Right.
Speaking of lost, I'm out, man.
You're out. All right.
Gone.
Well, so what we find out is that there's somebody controlling the test, which is Chicago, which is where Tristan and all them are having all this issues. And then there's another place that is over Jeff Daniels' little paradise.
They're his funding. Like, basically, he has to for him to continue his project, which is he wants to purify the genetics system, which Tris is the only pure that they've ever had. So he wants to map her genes so that he can wants to steal children. He steals children under the guise of, so that he wants to make them grow up and change their genetic makeup so they can be pure like Tris. And it's very complicated.
It's very complicated, and it's almost outrageous to the point of being disappointing.
So was this movie disappointing for you guys?
I want to see the last one just to see what happens.
Okay.
But if it sums it up well in the next one, then I'll be okay with this one.
There's another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is this is like the last book.
This is the split?
Yeah, this
okay. Because people were asking me questions about the end of this one, and I'm like, no, yes, no, yes. I was trying to answer questions, but I'm like, I thought this was it. I didn't realize it wasn't, but it could have been.
Yeah. Okay.
In my opinion.
So are you excited for the next one?
Well, I guess I am now.
Laura?
I don't like to. I don't care how bad a movie is. I have to know how it ends.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and this wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen. That is, can I say it on the radio? It's the worst movie I've seen probably in 10 years is Gods of Egypt. It is awful. Awful.
There's your little Easter egg of a review right there.
There you go. I don't have to review that movie because it'd probably make me sick. But
all right, we're not going to put her on that one.
No,
okay.
Don't do that.
But so this movie, it's got a lot of conclusion, but at the same time, I don't know where they're going to go with it now.
Yeah. Well, because now they have to. He is like the Jeff Daniels character, like.
He's
Tris
mad.
Gets away from him, because he's losing his funding to do what he thinks. He's kind of like Hitler. He wants like a purist society.
Yeah,
and he uses any means necessary, lies, cheats, steals to get what he wants. He tricks Tris into going before his council to get him more funding by telling her all these lies about what he's really doing.
Yeah,
but then she finally figures out that he's a liar, and then she comes back and rejoins with 4, and now they're going to stop. His mother, they go to stop his mother from starting this huge civil war within Chicago. And after that, she wants to go because there's all these kids and all these people that they're taking to change and make them what he wants them to be. And Tris wants
so
to
now she's got
to
2 cities to save.
Yes.
Well,
basically.
Hope she gets it done in Allegiant 2 or whatever it's called.
Whatever it is. We will see it.
Laura, Sabrina, thank you guys for being on the show. We appreciate you guys. I'll be back next week with Kyle and also Tracy. We'll be doing a full hour of shows. We'll be doing the boxing movie Southpaw, also the Will Smith movie Pursuit of Happiness, and Sandra Bullock film Blindside. Tracy will have some horror films for you, like The Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. Been wanting to see that one. Yeah.
That one's not a kid's one either.
The Experimenter.
Boy Scouts my foot.
And also Paranormal Activity Ghost Dimension. That is next Saturday on the Screen Team. For Laura, Noah, Sabrina, and Chris, we are the Screen Team on Today's Talk KWOC.